including the 2027 World Rugby qualifiers. Well, now from rugby to athletics. Athletics Kenya, that is President Jackson Tuwei, has been re-elected as the Vice President of the Confederation of African Athletics, CEM. The retired general, who first came into office in 2019, will now serve his second term for the next 4 years from 2023 to 2027. The CEA Congress was held in Lusaka, Zambia, and was attended by the World Athletic President Sebastian Coe. Cameroonian Hamad Kalkaba was also elected as the president of the CEA, while Senegalese Lamine Fenty has been elected as the Director General of the Confederation of Africa Athletics. Well, now let's switch gears to football action. The Kenya Federation Football, that is Kenya Federation Football Cup, that is Mozart Cup, quarterfinals will be played this weekend with the semi-finals spot up for grabs. Tusker FC will lock horns with the Bankers KCB at the Police Sacco Stadium from 1 p.m. That is, the match is still ongoing, while Sofapaka will play against Ulinzi Stars at the same venue from 3:15 p.m. On Sunday, Kakamega Homeboys will clash with Kariobangi Sharks at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, from 1 p.m. While FC Leopard will face Bandari FC at the same venue starting from 3 p.m. The winners of the FKF Cup will represent Kenya in the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF Confederation Cup, which involve other top teams from Africa. Right. There are 5 matches lined up to be played this weekend in the Kenya Basketball Federation playoff. The first, Kenya Port Authority, that is KPA men's basketball team, will take on Kenyatta University's side Pirates in the playoff quarterfinals on Saturday at Nyayo Stadium, Nairobi. The Mombasa-based side saw of KU 82-51 in the last game of the regular season to finish top of the table with 42 points, while KU Pirate finished 8th with 31 points. Elsewhere, Strathmore squads expect a tough playoff match when his team face off against Storms in the women's quarterfinal to be played, that match that will be played tomorrow on Sunday. to some good news. Wazalendo Hockey Football Club, that is electronics, that is LG Electronic, has announced 300,000 sponsorship deal with Wazalendo Hockey Club. The sponsorship will not only help the club conduct its mandate, but will also grow the LG brand through different marketing strategies at the club. Founded 28 years ago, Wazalendo Hockey Club is focused on developing young players in their sports through identification, mentoring, and providing an opportunity to young talented players, especially in the informal settlement of Mukuru slums and around South B, where the club training field is based. Now switching gears to international action. Match 33 in the English Premier League continued when Tottenham Hotspurs welcomed Manchester United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as the battle for top four heat up. Spurs, who were demolished 6-1 by Newcastle last weekend, fought back from 2 goals down to clinch a 2-2 draw against United thanks to Son Heung-min and Pedro Porro. Ten Hag's United got a 2-0 advantage when Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford netted in the first half. In the other matches played, Newcastle United demolished Everton 4-1 to keep their hopes of finishing in the Champions League. Right, that is the beauty of football. You get punished, sometimes you get frustrated, and that is the nature of football. And that's actually what makes it amazing and the most loved sport in the world. Now, moving on, still matters to do with football. English Premier League will be back this weekend after the midweek action that saw some entertaining matches being played, including Manchester United and Manchester City and of course Arsenal, that saw Manchester City winning 4-1 against Arsenal. In today's fixtures, Brighton will lock horns with Wolves as Crystal Palace, of course, play host to West Ham in London Derby. Tomorrow, Liverpool will welcome Tottenham Hotspurs at Anfield as both teams seek to finish in the European competition position, while Manchester United play against high-flying Aston Villa at Old Trafford. Defending champions Manchester City will lock horns and at the same time hope to leapfrog Arsenal at the top of the table when they travel to Craven Cottage to face Fulham from 4 p.m. Right, that part brings the end to this first segment of On the Sports Show, where, of course, we were talking about looking at the highlight that makes the news that happened during this particular midweek and this weekend matches that will be played. Well, remember earlier on we asked you, our question of the day was, do you think Arsenal has what it takes to win this league given the circumstances and given the number of matches that has been played so far, and owing to recent performance of Arsenal. Remember, you can chip in and give your view on this subsequent sports show on all of our social media platform, on Facebook at KUTV Kenya, on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya, at AUMA Events. Remember, the hashtag to use always is on the spot. Well, we take a short break, but before that, remember, coming up next is our discussion that will be based on hockey, and to be precise, we'll be talking with the Secretary General for Wazalendo Hockey Club and captain, just to give us some insight of what to expect as far as this season is concerned. And remember, they received a sponsorship, a new sponsorship that I believe will be very instrumental in their title hunt and in their quest to nurture young talent as far as growing upcoming hockey players in the country is concerned. That discussion is coming up next after the break. See you in a bit.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepopa si vuguvugu. Pepopa ni idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Excuse me, what is the price to see you, Papa?
We go way, way back.
I will discuss this with you later, and with your mother, of course.
Nobody cares.
So what do you recommend as a starter, Zahara?
Hello, love.
What I want is for her to suffer, make her suffer.
But just remember this. It's you who is tearing this entire family apart.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za tarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swaibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahoda mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalonukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Pale Facebook watu wanaendelea kufuatilia kupitia runinga ya KUTV katika ukurasa wetu rasmi ama Facebook fan page yetu KUTV Kenya. Vile vile kunao wengine ambao wako kule majuu wanatupata kupitia iOSat TV. Pale kwanza nakwambia ni pay per view. Lakini hapa Kenya, na ni kitu ambacho utakuwa ukiangalia pale kwa comment section, watu wanaendelea kuongea pale hivyo. Wanasema nyundo, hama. But I loved vile ambavyo Brutal Man ameweza kupigana. Ni mtu ambaye yako na nguvu na kama vile amesema hajazoea kupigana. Kwa hivyo tunatarajia katika LFA5, LFA6 atakuwa akifanya mambo makali tena zaidi. Na kuona hapa hivi tutakuwa nikiongea na watu wawili watatu, lakini kabla ya hayo wacha kwanza nirudishe kwake floor. Utuambie kunani hapo mahali huko? Unaendelea kufilaje?
Yeah, amazing. Ojuang, right about now, I want to engage one of the commentators. We have two commentators on the commentating box. One of them is Elisha Okech, and he's here. I want to know, Elisha, what did you make of that fight? Ilikuwa mzito, it was too fast, it was scintillating if you ask me, but what did you think about it?
Thank you, Flo. First of all, I think it was a very surprising fight because everybody is used to the Hammer completing his matches within a few seconds. We had spoken to Kingi's coach, and Kingi's coach told us that it will be different. Kingi is not a nail. It will be hammer for hammer. As you have seen, Kingi was able to knock down his opponent more than once, and I'm very impressed.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Hello everyone, this is the new chapter of Let's Be Fit. I'll be host DiCaplo. I'm here to give you various workouts. I'll be having different trainers. We'll have Zumba classes, we'll have aerobics classes, we'll have box exercise, we'll have kata box, just name them.
Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, I'm tall. I don't foster, serious another. A big time player. Too big and ganja, I went flexer, yeah. Tina said gym, yeah.
The show comes every Thursday from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Keep it locked, make sure we keep fit, and that's it from me to you. Let's be fit.
Big and ganja, I went flexer, yeah. Tina said gym, yeah. Too hot like a heater. My neck done froze like winter. I'm very young, liquor, yeah. Trace on me picture.
Wakati
They say necessity is the mother of invention. The ever-increasing crime and alcohol addiction in Kiambu County, and among other things, forced Baraka and his team to form Gethodwa Soccer Academy that will rehabilitate the lost in the society.
Mimi ndo head coach wa Gethodwa Starlets and Soccer Academy ambao tulianzisha mwaka 2018. Lengo kubwa likiwa kurekebisha tabia katika jamii kupitia mchezo huu wa kandanda.
Today, this soccer academy has become a beacon of hope to many children here, laying a foundation stone for next generation who can pull itself out of poverty and suffering. Children here are fluent in the language of football, and for some like Kitawa, the sky is not the limit. The ever-increasing scale and intensity of emergency demonstrate the need for large and more robust mechanism to keep these young and yet vulnerable children out of danger.
Nachezea Gethodwa Starlets and Soccer Academy. Hii ni timu kubwa, tumetambulika huku kwote. Nikiwa mkubwa napenda kuwa Emmanuel Niwa. Bila football sasa ningekuwa na randa huku hivi. Tunavuta bangi, kuja kakujanga. Katuambia tu join football, tukajoin.
Before ni join team, nilikuwa nimejitosa na story ya drugs. Nilikuwa alcoholic, ni juu ya peer pressure ile kutoka shule.
With the novel coronavirus at its rampage, they chose not to remain ignorant of the world around them. Statistic itself is worrying. The number of teen pregnancy and other crime-related issues are on the rise. Programs such as scholarship, free meals, and mentorship program prove to be the only answer at the moment. The gesture is both timely and necessary.
Tulianza tu kwa dhumuni la kurekebisha tabia, lakini kadri muda ulivyozidi kuendelea ilitubidi tukaanzisha pia vitu tofauti. Tulianzisha mentorship programs ndani, guidance and counseling ndani, tumekuwa na scholarships sahihi pia ziko ndani. Wasichana wetu wana benefit sanitary towels kila mwisho wa mwezi, kila mwezi wanapewa. Sahihi latest tumeanzisha feeding program ambao watoto wetu wao wote ambao tuko nao, na bado kuna vijana wengine, watoto wengine wa community wanaweza kupata uji asubuhi na lunch kila siku kwa wiki.
The task at hand proved to be a bridge far, but Gethodwa Soccer Academy refused to play to the script. Aid program remained far and few in between, and even Baraka and his team admit that Gethodwa project has its limits and perhaps most importantly lacks sustainability.
Food ya kufida watu hii wiki mzima ni challenge. Sometimes nafika mahali tunagwama, saa zingine pia inakubali tukisonga hivyo. So si kitu rahisi kufanya, ni kitu inatukula, but tunangangana.
With its impact greatly felt, the community is now becoming receptive of the good work being done by the Soccer Academy.
Wanamuita kama Coach Becky. Alikuja kwa nyumba. Akaniambia, huyu mtoto wangu Branton akifanya class 8 tutawa sponsor waingie form 1. Mimi sikuamini. Nilimwambia nitaamini wakiingia form 1. Wakati ulipofika this year January akakuja wakatuita meeting wakiwa na wenzake wanafanya nao kazi.
When all is said and done, the only thing that counts, in word of Albert Caesar, the purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. AUMA Evans, KUTV.
Nina Gertrude is a 15-year-old upcoming hockey player who trains during the weekends and the school holidays with her peers at the Kenya Hockey Union City Park Hockey Stadium in Nairobi, under the stewardship of former Kenyan international Mr. Tom Olal, who is also in charge of development of hockey under the Kenya Hockey Union in Nairobi. Nina's journey in the sport began age of 8 at a school called Brayside. The 15-year-old had shown that she will become a shining star in the sport of hockey, and for that she was made captain of a school girls hockey team. Though she is yet to play in the major hockey league, her prowess mimics that of a professional hockey player, and her peers agree that she is very instrumental in their matches.
Well, I've gotten the best valuable player for hockey, because in school in tournaments they tend to look at your hockey skills, sometimes goalkeeping, but most of the time it's ball handling and stuff like that. Yeah, and we won some few tournaments, my school and stuff like that.
It is obvious that she is so much into hockey, hence her undying love for the sport, and what upsets her the most in the pitch is playing with the lazy athletes. The 15-year-old draws her inspiration from Kenya Telecom's lady hockey team captain Tracy Nungari Wanjiru, and her aim is one day to become like her.
It gets hard, it gets intense, but you should always have a positive mood. Always have a positive mood when you come to training, because you don't want to be on coach's neck and stuff like that. Yeah.
When it is hockey time, you can definitely see that the Yankee enjoys what she does, and there is a slight chance that she will one day become as famous as her idol Tracy, or even Kenya Telecom's Audi Almaido. In her time playing hockey in the national school games, a lot of schools have tried to poach her due to her impeccable skill set, but she has stayed true and loyal to her school despite the lucrative offers. Her ultimate goal in life is one day to acquire a scholarship so that she may get a chance to play hockey overseas, and her league of choice is the Netherlands Hockey League. Nina believes that as much as being a sportsman is hard, the benefits that one reaps are fulfilling, and her advice to aspiring hockey players our age is,
as a captain, you have to encourage people, especially when a defender comes in and attack you. I tend to panic a bit, but it's I try my best not to tell myself, don't panic, you'll do okay whenever a defender comes and stuff like that.
Taking a keen interest in the development of sports is imperative in ensuring that Kenya's sporting future is bright, and it is through the efforts of stakeholders such as the Kenya Hockey Union and young Nina Doyle that the Kenyan hockey fraternity is continuously fed with talent for years and years to come. Samson Jura, KUTV on the sport.
Right, welcome back, and now this is the time to have that discussion. Today the discussion is all about hockey, and to be in particular, we're talking about one club in particular, that is Wazalendo Hockey Club, and I'm glad to be joined by Griffin Okombe, the captain of Wazalendo Hockey Club, and later on we'll be joined by the Secretary Gen, that is Mr. Eli, just to have this conversation about the how to support our hockey clubs as far as when we the next level, when we want to take them and even improve the performance and the status of hockey in the country. There's a discussion that we really need to have, and Griffin, thank you so much for making time to join us yet again to have this very pertinent and good conversation, if you ask me. Well, good news at last, something to smile about. I know it's not something that you will say you have reached there yet, but at least it's something to start with. How do you feel as a club, of course, and captain?
We feel very delighted. A lot of thanks for LG for coming through to us, especially at this moment.
All right.
We received the news 2 weeks ago, and we were so happy. We knew that this is the right time for them to come for us.
All right.
It serves as a motivation to the team, especially just that we started our league recently, and everyone is on psych. Everyone is saying we want to do this.
All right. Well, how will it, boost the team's performance, morale going forward? Because if you ask me, now is the time. Many will give excuse. We don't have, some allowances to travel, logistics, things like that. But at least you have something to hold on to. Now, the only focus is now to, replicate performance that your sponsors expect of you. In terms of, boosting the performance of the team and even morale in general, how will it, affect the team?
Yeah, given that we are a self-sponsored club, we've had in-house challenges, just like having players attending training, providing facilities such as sticks, providing equipments for players. Sometimes it's a big challenge because most of the players playing in the league are university students for the main team. Some of them are working, but not very well. So it's a very big thing for us, because those gaps that we had, we are going to bridge them. We are going to have everyone attend training. We are going to make sure we purchase the right equipments. We are going to make sure we work on our welfare for players. It looks small, but it's so big for us because we've been self-sponsored for the longest time possible. So it's a very big thing for us.
All right. Yeah. Well, one of the key objectives that is based on your club, should I call it the key priorities, the mandate that you have given, one of them is to nurture, is to identify and of course nurture young talents in the slums of Mukuru. Well, this speaks volume of why we need sponsorship. And I remember the last time we were here, we were talking about, the fund to the club, and this time we have now. It speaks volume, of course, but this is the right conversation to have as far as development of hockey is concerned. Talk less of developing young talent. Just why is it important to have this conversation right now?
Well, we have a program called Young Player Development Program within Wazalendo Club. That is how we source and feed the senior team. We start at a very early age, so we go to the slums, we go to the primary schools around Mukuru to recruit and to sell these sports to them. Now, the biggest challenge most times is that these kids, they don't have a reason to come to play because they'd rather go and look for food, support their parents in hustles and all those things. Sometimes we lost them, the society today. So we're using hockey as a tool to preach to them, tell them, come to this sport. We will teach you morals of life. We will introduce you to good education systems. You'll not just play, but we're exposing you to how to tackle this world. So it's a big boost because now when you go back to the grassroots level, we have a reason even to convince parents to give their children to us. We tell them we are partnering with LG. They know LG. They know what LG does. They know what we've done before. So it's a good thing for us also in terms of facilitation for their equipments, for their shoes, for their kitting. It's very big for us.
Well, you spoke about you as a club being the sole sponsor, of course. And this begs the question. Of course, it's a big question that we need to ask, and maybe in the near future some answers will be provided. Just why is it difficult, of course, for some sponsors to, chip in and give support as far as hockey is concerned? We have seen it happen in other, competitive sports, the likes of football, we have rugby, just to mention a few. Why is it so difficult to sponsor hockey?
Well, I must say, maybe in the past we've not advertised very well, but together with the other clubs playing in the league, in association with the union that runs the league, we've come up with the policies and recommendations that can allow now more sponsors to come in. For example, now we have LG. Last year we had DTE sponsoring another team from Western. So it's a good show. It's a good show for us. Maybe difficult because of how expensive the game is. It's a very expensive game. So, and also if you look at what does it bring back to you. So our message has been to these people that we may not give you what you're looking for in terms of profits, but we are going to influence the society. We are going to change the society. We are going to mold new leaders and the future generation of tomorrow. If you chip in what you can chip in.
All right. Well, you spoke about very important things. One of them, expensive. And how does it bring back? Talk to me about these key aspects. Is this what sponsors are looking for in a team?
Well, for me, what I see is the future. Talk of branding and marketing, that is very essential. because they also need to sell their products. But more important is to start to, to create a background for the future of our kids, the future of our generation, the future of the society. So if I were to sponsor a team today, I would want to look at where would this club be in 10 years? What is the future of the kids? Where would the 6-year-old be in 10 years? What message are we sending to the world through sports?
Well, you also spoke about advertisement, and this reflect to the ground, of course. When you do your analysis, first thing that people ask, like, this is hockey, how, just how interesting is this game, and what aspect does it bring in terms of societal value and even player development? The fight, or rather the war against, the myth and the vice about hockey. And one key tool that is very instrumental in this war is advertising. Why is it taking too long for, club themselves to realize this? We're talking about the union because they are the people responsible for preaching the gospel about hockey. Why is it taking so long for you, the club, to realize that this is the way to go?
Yeah, maybe the first challenge as a country and as a continent is that this sport, we borrowed it from, the Europeans. It's not naturally ours. And then the idea that hockey is an external sport, you play using a stick, you have to purchase equipment. So when you go to the grassroots, it's very difficult to tell someone, I have a stick. You need to have a stick, you need to have a cork, a ball to play this game. Unlike running, athletics, unlike football, where you just need to come up with something out of creativity and play. That's why maybe it's difficult to sell our sports. But over the years, and given the development that has been there, progressively, we've had a partnership with media. We've had partnership with other clubs, because most people who play hockey bring in now their children, their families, and that is how it has been progressing. I can assure you that in the coming years, it's going to be a very, very, very big sport, especially for this country.
Well, we can't talk about other hockey clubs, but we can talk about Wazalendo. 28 years in existence. And of course, there has been time to learn, time to reflect, and of course, correct the wrongs, and even forge new plans. But still, the discussion is always the same. The solution, I don't think so. It's always the same, but of course, there is something that, as a club that has been there, built a base, and of course, in existence for almost 3 decades. This is something that, as the hierarchy of the club should have noticed and come up with mechanism, ways, to further, develop the club even beyond the issues of financial constraint. Well, don't you think it's about time now clubs take individual responsibilities and now push forward for these changes that they want? Because you mentioned about strategies, even some, you mentioned a few names that you suggested to, I don't know if it's the government or the union for sponsorship. Don't you think now it's time now to pull those strings as individual clubs with your sole responsibility to make a change?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is our lane. That is the path we are taking. For us, we've taken that path despite the fact of, the game being very expensive. I can tell you for sure that in the current league in Kenya Hockey Union right now, we are the only club with 4 teams registered. We've registered in the National League. We have a team playing the National League. The youth side, we have a team playing in the Super League, which is a mixture of the youth who are developing and senior players retiring from the senior team. We have a team playing in the main league, and we even have a veterans team. And mark you, that is a self-sponsored team, and we are pulling strings. We are going this far to do that. Yes, it's time that clubs take this path, and we as Wazalendo are there in the forefront. We are showing them that now let's attack the process. Let us carry on despite the challenges, because as you've said, Wazalendo is a very, very old club, 3 decades of existence. But every day is a new challenge. Every day is a new challenge. what we are doing is to adjust to those challenges. We cannot promise that tomorrow there will not be another challenge, but what we are trying to do as a club and what we are trying to encourage other clubs to do is to address the challenges as they come. Irrespective of what is coming, let us not stop what we've been doing, but let us carry on and carry on.
All right. You talk about 14s, you know, and you go on and say the only club, of course.
The only club.
And sole sponsor. What are you doing different?
A group of people with a common idea came up together 28 years ago, and they say, this is how we want to play this sport. This is how we want to go. I am beneficiary of such plans. We have other many players who came from Maria Kani Primary School. I went as a coach with them in Egypt for the under-21 national team. They started playing hockey at 6 years old through Wazalendo Young Player Development Program, and now they're playing for the national team. So ours is not about immediate result. Ours is a long-term project. Ours is to see where we can be in 20 years. And it's to spread this message to those who will come after me, to those who are already above me, and to those who will come after those we've nurtured.
All right. Well, you have, very, good mechanism and chemistry of how to get things done. And this is what, we need to see other reflection. You are the stakeholders, of course. You sit in some of these meetings when sometimes key issues and critical decisions have to be made as far as the, matters governance and the running affairs of hockey is concerned in the country. Why not share these, wise word and even brilliant ideas so that we can take the mantle in as much as sponsors are sponsors are not coming as a whole, but there is some things that you can do to at least support.
Of course, we are sharing. It's one thing to share, it's another to implement. But we have been contagious for the longest time possible in this way. We share by showing. We start at the front full. I've given you an example of 4 teams in the league. I can see already other clubs trying to build youth teams. And probably by next year, we shall have a youth league, maybe for the under-21s, for the under-16. That is how we can influence, by sharing, through showing, through demonstrating, through being practical about it.
All right.
That is how we can do it, because at the end of the day, there's the issue of the financial aspect. And that is the biggest challenge.
All right. Well, you talk about hockey being expensive. What makes it expensive?
Well, how it's set up, equipments, and like the AstroTurf, the stick, the shin guards, the goalkeeper's kit, they're very expensive. Well, also because of the quality that you have to play with, also because of the dangers that come, if you play with a fake equipment or just a normal equipment. That is what makes it expensive. Other expenses are normal, just like other sports, player welfare, fair to go for training, facilitation, surface to train, especially in Nairobi, which are normal challenges we're facing. But we are addressing them. We are still asking and pushing our partner LG to come in even with more resources for us, so that we keep going to the grassroots and keep advocating for this change in society.
All right. Well, this is a very important discussion and initiative. At the same time, supporting, let me call it supporting, of course, hockey, because for far too long it has been sung about, the songs of, the neglected sport, the one that we want to see it rise again to the oceans that we used to see in the past. And it's very key important. This brings me to my question. Of course, transition has to start, of course. People have ambitions, have plans, and just highlight to us as a captain, of course, from where you sit, where do you see the future of Wazalendo?
Well, we want to be the biggest club in Africa. Once we achieve that step, we are going now to tackle the whole world.
All right.
This season we set targets. We intend to qualify for the Africa Club Championship. The last time we played the African Club Championship was in 2021. We hope last year we finished 4th in the league because of in-house challenges. This season we are looking at finishing above. I don't know what other clubs are doing, but from what we are doing, that is what we want to achieve. And we hope to achieve that. Still, in terms of development, we are still putting up more policies. We are still coming up with more recommendations and mechanism of how to improve what has been done, because we've been doing something, yes, but we need to keep on improving and progressing. So that's how we are looking at it. Like I told you before, ours is a long-term project. It's like a lifetime project. We might get to what we want to get to today, but now the challenge we ask ourselves is, how can we make sure we keep doing this every year in, year out? And that is what we are trying to do right now.
All right, now that is a good point to take this and of course focus on the league. So far 3 games have been played, of course. You registered 1 win, 2 draws, and now you have something to smile for, and it set the stage for what will be expected of you from your sponsors, your fans, and of course your collective responsibility as a team. Let's talk about the Premier League. What is your trajectory this time round as far as the league is concerned?
Well, it's too early to speak of it, but like I told you, we hope to go for a top 2 finish. We want to qualify for the Africa Club Championship. So far we played, if I may say, teams which we feel are title contenders. Last year they finished number 1 and number 2, but we've managed to get 2 points from both teams. They have gotten 2 points from us, each team. We feel this is our time. We feel we can really push for more points. We feel that if we keep trusting the process, if we keep focusing on our tasks, game by game, we will give something big. That's how we are seeing it. I cannot tell you about games that are coming in future, but I can only speak of game by game.
All right. Talk to me about what are you trying to, or what will you do different this time round? Of course, last season you finished on 4th position, and you missed out on a very key, target that you guys wanted. That is to play, of course, at least in the continental stage. This time round, it's a new dawn, new opportunity. Of course, title is there. Everybody's chasing for it. But what are some of the things that we have changed this time round? Is it the signings, revamping your squad, or what is it? What are we looking at?
Well, more of it is the attitude, the mindset, and the mentality of the whole team at large. We did a debrief of the previous season. We analyzed ourselves, and we realized that we have a team of high quality, very good talent, but within ourselves as players, we did not give our best, maybe because we were not mentally ready. So our coaches, our technical team, they have really put a lot of efforts this season particularly to work on our mental aspect of the game. And we are having results. It's a process. We are not yet 100%, but we feel as players that right now, whatever they are feeding us is working, and we ought to give it back to them. We ought to reward them for their efforts.
When you talk about mental aspect, and for the viewers who are watching us, I'm pretty sure some are even wondering, why do you need, the mental aspect of it? Because most of the times it's all about, go there, give your best. You have one sole objective: go there, play your best, score, win, and bring the points to the team. Why do you need, the nitty-gritty of mental aspect in between? And to paraphrase my question even a bit better, what happened? Why would you need a mental aspect?
Well, it's the integral part of winning and losing.
All right.
Because today you wake up, you win, tomorrow you lose. It all starts in the mind. So it's one thing to say, hey, go there, play, you need to win, because everyone does that. Even the opponents want to do that. But whoever is present and attentive and aware of that moment wins it. For us, the biggest challenge last season, we as players, we were worried so much about the outcome, about how the game will end, the results so much. But what we've changed this season is to understand that as a player, I need to think about the next 5 seconds. I need to think about what will happen in the next 1 minute. It's the role of the coach and the technical team to worry about what will happen after 60 minutes or 90 minutes. That is why it's very important to prepare your mind so that your body will execute as per the instruction of your mind. That is why the mental aspect is very, very important. If you're not ready in the mind, then you for sure cannot do it.
All right. Well, when we talk about the competitive of the league, we have teams that have been known to be predominantly the king and masters of the game. This time round, you're there to write a different script.
For sure.
And right now, the position that you are in, things are quite okay, but it's too early to judge. But do you think we'll keep up with that momentum?
That's what we want to do. We want to keep up with that momentum. We want to keep on going there and competing and getting results. It's a process. It's a routine we want to develop within ourselves. It's not easy because teams are looking at us right now. They are preparing for us in a different way. But we are saying we are up to the task. We have all it takes. We're going to give them what they deserve to get from us, and we're going to take points away from them.
All right.
That is how we are looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that is, I should take it, words from captain.
Yeah.
And of course, for your fellow, teammates who are watching, what is, your final message to them?
Well, teammates or they all or opponents? Just teammates.
Fans.
Okay. So for my teammates, I want to encourage them. First is to thank them for their commitment this season, the targets we set together, the assurances, despite the challenges we've been facing. I want to assure them that we are a working process. We've seen LG coming through for us. Maybe if we give even more, we will have LG coming in a more abundant way. Maybe we'll have more sponsors coming in. But what I want to assure them is this is our time.
All right.
Let's go for it, and let's not lose focus. Let's focus relentlessly and win this league.
All right, it is their time, as he says it. That is Griffin Okombe, that is the captain for Uzalendo teams. He says, and a special message to their teams and even fans, that trust the process. And this is what is happening. Well, it has been a pleasure, talking to you and having this very important conversation. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, you and your team, as you even aim high and to bring the glory home. And to be, more precise, I'm very interested in the initiative of developing, young talent.
Young talent.
Yeah, that is what I'm looking for. And we will put you to account for that.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, we'll take yet another short break, and when we come back, still we'll be speaking to the Secretary General still of Uzalendo. Today, Wazalendo, I beg your pardon, Wazalendo. Today the discussion is all about hockey. Well, and remember earlier on, we asked you a question of the day that we asked you, do you think Arsenal has all what it takes, of course, to win this Premier League? Do you think Arsenal has all it takes to win this Premier League? Remember, you can chip in your views and comments on all of our social media platforms, on Facebook at KUTV Kenya, on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya, at AUMA Events. Remember the hashtag to use, Primetime News. We take that short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to Secretary General of Wazalendo Hockey, Wazalendo Hockey, Hockey Club. See in a bit.
Excuse me, what a surprise to see you, Papa.
We go way, way back. I will discuss this with you later, and with your mother, of course.
Nobody cares.
So what do you recommend as a starter, Zahara?
Hello, love.
What I want is for her to suffer, make her suffer.
But just remember this. It's you who is tearing this entire family apart.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we're losing.
The level we need to go is a level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake these solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you'll find that it serves us a bit more than you put in. And that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found. Because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
Excuse me, what a surprise to see you, Papa. We go way, way back.
I will discuss this with you later, and with your mother, of course.
Nobody cares.
So what do you recommend as a starter, Zahara?
Hello, love.
What I want is for her to suffer, make her suffer.
But just remember this. It's you who is tearing this entire family apart.
And our research involves using advances in plant sciences to try and find solutions for constraints of food and agricultural productivity in sub-Saharan Africa.
The idea here is farmers maybe would spray this on their farms just before planting to induce germination of striga seeds, but because the host is not there, it means that these seeds are going to die at the end of the day.
You have talked about giving people who do not have a voice to have a voice concerning this particular community, because 20 years ago this was not an issue, but now it is a debate not only in Kenya but world over.
Issues of LGBTQ issues that are now, I'll say, universally, they are major issues
and maybe as a country we may need to look into it.
All right, welcome back, and we still continue with our conversation based on hockey, and a lot has happened. Indeed, if you ask me, good news to Wazalendo Hockey Club as far as the sponsorship is concerned. Remember, still our question of the day that we are asking you: do you think that Arsenal, or rather Arsenal, has all what it takes to win this Premier League season? Of course, remember, this is a team that has had its own fair share of troubles. Some will call it a roller coaster ride. There is a time that they were flying high, then all of a sudden things just happened. Draw against Tottenham, all the way they went there, they played against West Ham United, and trouble began there. Ever since from then, it has been dropping until now, and the last nailing of it all, it was in the midweek action against Manchester City. 4-1. What a beating. Anyway, it's amazing to see that, but we wish them all the best. If they can dream, of course, the platinum is there and the stadium is always there. They can dream again, they can go all for it. But do you think they will go all the way to challenge for this title with given the number of matches that has remained? Of course, remember, on Monday they meet Chelsea, and I'm sure Chelsea will not want to let this go. Not in Arsenal's hand, not Arsenal. Anyway, but we'll wait and see there. Keep on sending your views and comment on all of our social media platforms. Remember, Facebook, it's always KUTV Kenya. On Twitter, KUTV_Kenya. You can tag me along at AUMA Evans, and of course the hashtag to use always is prime, on the spot, of course. Well, today we have a couple of fixtures that I want to take a look at it, that will be played today in the English Premier League. Today we have key matches, that is Crystal Palace against West Ham United. That is an early kickoff, and then later on Brighton will entertain Wolves. Remember, Brighton were thrashed during the weekend with Nottingham Forest, and we'll be talking about the relegation battle and how the race is shaping out for this team that are fighting for survival. And another match that will be played today is Brentford vs Nottingham Forest. Then tomorrow on Sunday, Manchester United will play host to Aston Villa at Old Trafford. Then we have Fulham who will entertain Manchester City at Craven Cottage. That is a big match to watch. Then Bournemouth will play host to Leeds. So Leeds will be traveling to Vitality Stadium to square it out with Bournemouth. Then another match to take a good look at it is Newcastle United will be playing against Southampton. Remember, Southampton are fighting for survival, and they are actually in a critical position, should I say condition. They are in the ICU fighting for their dear life. Well, for those who understand football will know what I'm talking about. Then later on, Liverpool will play host to Tottenham at Anfield. Will Tottenham walk alone? Well, time will tell. We'll wait and see. Remember, this is a top 4 race that is gaining momentum day by day. Liverpool want to finish among the 4 brackets so that they can have a chance to play in the next season Champions League. But there is Tottenham that want to redeem themselves after a thorough beating 6-1 at the hands of ruthless Newcastle United and a draw against Manchester United. Clearly, it's time to rewrite the story and of course bounce back from heavy defeat and a disappointing draw at the hands of United. Another match that will be played on Monday. Now Monday we have Leicester City will be playing against Everton, and the match will be played at King Power Stadium. Remember, Everton and Leicester City, they just sail in the same boat. Their worries and troubles have always been the same this season. Nothing to smile about, but everything at this point, a win will take them to at least, just bridging the gap between survival and of course the real threat of relegation. The last match that will be played, the big one, the London Derby, the match of mighty rivals, the one that will, to many, will decide whether Arsenal have a chance or not. Chelsea vs Arsenal. The match will be played at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal play host to Chelsea. It is a moment, it will be a match of intensive moment, rivalry, bad blood, and everything in between. One team want to have it all. They have been waiting since 2004 until now. It has been, almost 2 decades of waiting, and this time round they want to have it. They have come so far. They have fight, for their dear life. They have been close to this, and to let it go, it will be a disappointing of eternity. But still, they will be seeing what, of course, they will want to have a stake at it, and of course, have a genuine title contender. They are up against Manchester City, who right now, they are just in the best form of their lives, scoring for fun and making a mockery of, another arguably title contenders in this English Premier League. On Monday, Arsenal vs Chelsea. Remember our question of the day that we keep on asking: do you think Arsenal has all what it takes to at least win this particular title? But if you ask me that question, I would have asked it on maybe after Monday's match. Anyway, that is it. Remember, we have still some big, matches that are being played here at Kenya. That is FKF Cup. Some call it Mozart Cup. And we have Tusker who are playing against KCB. And I can tell you the history between these two teams. It has been bad blood all the way. But on 7 occasions, KCB has always been, at the top front of this encounter. Tusker FC have always been on top front of this encounter. Of course, 7 wins, and KCB are chasing behind the pack. Will the story be changed this time round? Of course, it's a match that we are following closely, and we'll be updating you on that particular match, that is Tusker vs KCB, that is being played at Police Sacco Stadium. Another match that, I believe has already begun is Sofapaka vs Ulinzi. Remember, Ulinzi, saw off their Afande in Afande Derby. That is their counterpart. Some will call them brothers in the Afande Derby, and they edged out Kenya Police to book their slot in the quarterfinals of the Mozart Bet Cup. And another team and another match that is very, interesting to watch, the Kakamega Homeboys vs Kariobangi Sharks. Remember Kakamega Homeboys, of course, they eliminated the defending champions Gor Mahia courtesy of a single goal. And right now, they have, all it takes to push it all the way to the final. And Kakamega Sharks will be playing against Kariobangi Shark, and that match will be played at 3:15. That will be played tomorrow. And last season's finalist, FC Leopards, will be up against Bandari. And this is a match that many will be wanting to see what will be happening. And remember, these Kariobangi Sharks, they have been in the final for 3 times, and they'll be hoping to go all the way to the 4th one. Remember, they have been back to back 2017, 2018, and 2019. This time round, it is 2023. Will they make it to the final? Remember, they won it in 2018 after many attempts, and this time round they have a chance to actually have their name printed on that trophy. And actually, many are wondering what makes this trophy very interesting. So here are a quick start for you. The prize to be won, beside booking the slot to represent Kenya in the continental showpiece, that is the Africa Confederation Cup, that involve a host of many best teams across Africa. There is prize money. Yeah, I'm talking about 2 million to be precise for winners, 1 million for, of course, for runners up. Then we have 750,000 for third place, and finally 500,000 for fourth place. All is at stake. Every team wants to win it, and who doesn't love money, of course? And that's what makes this competition very interesting, and this is what brings the beauty of it. Now, of course, now we want to shift our focus and attention now to our subsequent discussion about the hockey that we were having here, and today all focus has been diverted to the hockey that is Wazalendo Hockey Club, and we are talking about the importance of sponsorship and why we need to have this conversation not only at club level but at national level, because the future looks bright, and if you want to transform the future, then we must begin by transforming what brings the actual result on the table. And this one of the key issues that has been highlighted over the time is all about the sponsorship, and to be precise, they call it fund. Some say hockey is very expensive, they lack resources. But then in terms of logistics, talk about equipment and all this, but when you have a friendly sponsor and a partner, things actually moves in your direction. And sometimes money speaks. Sometimes the big performance that you see on the stage, the big the good teams that you see flying high, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes and most of the time, this is as a result of good coordination in terms of resources, mobility, teamwork, and of course goodwill. Is that what we are lacking? Of course, we'll be talking to the Secretary General for Wazalendo, that is Eli Mwanza, to give us the insight of what is happening, and of course what he hopes will this time round make a difference as far as transformation of hockey is concerned. Of course this is a good time now to chip in my guest and have this particular discussion and to see what is happening just in a bit. Right, Eli Mwanzi, the man himself. Of course, he has just corrected me. It's not Mwanza, it's Mwanzi. These names are, confusing. But we're glad, of course. I see you. You look good, very happy. Man is talking.
Thank you very much.
Talk to me about this, the sponsorship deal and the impact of it, of course, to the club.
Okay. First of all, let me take you through how we came about our program. This funding came about. We started the process like 2 years ago. We were working on the young development program. We have young kids whom we are trying to make them grow so that we can pick up their talent, so that we can see them growing in the sport. So what we've done, we've been sending proposals outside there in various companies, and with a good response from a few companies, we were able to get LG on board. And LG came on board because of our young kids. Because we have a program, we call it YPDP. YPDP means Young Players Development Program. It has run for almost 13 years because the first kids that we had that were the pioneers of the program in 2007 are now playing in the Premier League. Others are also playing in the national team. So this program came in and we saw it's a very good program for the kids, so that that's the reason we brought we asked for sponsors so that we can get a huge amount of money that can enable us bring more and more kids. Like these kids, we are getting them from the slum areas in Mariakani, around South B, Mukuru, Kwanjenga, Mariakani, primary. So you find there are many challenges in terms of bringing these kids up. In terms of school, feeding program, and without that, a kid cannot play without food. A kid cannot play without education. So we are asking for, the sponsors came in terms of helping us educate these people, acquiring resources that can help them play, and also well-being of the players. That's why we were asking for sponsors, and LG came on board for us. Yeah.
So make me understand this. The sponsorship was the reason why you went for sponsorship was based on the program that you have with kids.
Yeah, sure. That was the major reason we went for a sponsor. But also LG saw that it was good to also equip the team. In terms of resources. So they told us, yes, there's this amount of money that we have. Initially, we had done a proposal. There's a proposal for us, it was like let me say, like kucheza, like you apply for a sponsor, and then there's different levels of amount that you can get. So initially they were to give out 1.3 million, but there's another group that managed to Peter in terms of giving out the proposal. The proposal was good. So what LG saw, they saw our proposal was good, but they told us that since we saw that you guys are engaging young kids and developing young talent, we'll give you this amount of money so that you can continue doing the good work that you are doing. That's why they gave us that amount. But the amount itself is not only for the kids, it's also to support the club as a whole. Yeah.
So for how long have you had this program for the kids?
The program has been there for 13 years now.
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years.
Well, 13 years, and now is the time you deem it fit, of course, to ask for this.
Yeah, I know that question might come up. We've been doing that. We've been asking for sponsors. We've been having a few collections from other good-hearted people, mostly other clubs from outside Kenya. They have been giving us hockey sticks. They have been giving us shoes. We've been getting jerseys from other donors outside Kenya. But it was not enough for us to run the program. The amount of money that LG has given us, it will enable us also run it effectively. Also getting more kids into the club to learn hockey, to help them learn hockey, to help them even go to school, to help them even get the right kids because once you come and see them play, you'll identify these kids need something. So like shoes, they don't have shoes, they don't have the right hockey stick, socks, that part of the equipment that they require. So this money that LG has given us, it will go a long way right now. Previously, the club, as before I started, I'll say, the club was a Lendo Hockey Club, is a self-sponsored club. we rely on people's money,
Mhm.
players' money
Mhm.
to run the club. We don't have an official sponsor, let me say that, who will help us run throughout the season. So we rely on players' pocket or players' money so that the club can run, or well-wishers that will help us run the club. So without that kind of money from the players or from the well-wishers, the club cannot run. So every day or every month, players give out subscriptions. These subscriptions now comes in to stand where we need maybe an equipment for the kid, we need equipment for the young ones, or fare or food. That's where the subscription helps us to run the club.
Quite a journey, of course.
Sure.
13 years down the line, big journey.
Yeah.
And for how long have you been knocking, for the big sponsors' door? For how long have you been going there and tell them, we have this proposal, this is what you're doing, and we think maybe we see a future here? For how long, have you been knocking and the rejection?
I've been in the office for now 2 years.
Mhm.
But my predecessor has been there also doing the same. This is the 5th year. We've been looking for sponsors. We've gone to these betting companies. We've also gone to companies that have like-minded ideas in terms of sponsoring the community. We've gone there. Most of them are positive, but they don't give us the feedback in terms of money. They just tell us your ideas are good, you can do this and this. But now LG has given us now the physical appreciation of what we are doing in terms of helping the community. But we urge if there are any other sponsor who will wish to come on board, Wazalendo Hockey Club is quite open. We are ready to respond and to give out.
Even before we come to, you appealing for other sponsors, because for those sponsors that are watching us right now, I want you to demystify some, I call it myth, but you will debunk it for us today. The reason, of course, that maybe you will sell your ideas to some betting farm or even company, and they say, your ideas are good, but we'll talk. Well, from where you sit, and as a man tasked with the sole responsibility of going there and, of course, improve the welfare and the status of the club, what would you say is the main reason why sometimes it's like, no, at least not for today?
Okay. Hockey has not been a very popular sport, not very popular sport in Kenya compared to football, compared to rugby. It's a challenge approaching someone or a sponsor asking for money to run hockey. Yet the brand itself is not known. Most of the companies would like to engage someone who will sell the brand. And the brand can be sold where there are numbers. So if you don't have numbers, it's a challenge to sell hockey and to get a sponsor. And people who come on board, mostly I usually see people who know someone in hockey, maybe a former player, maybe he knows a friend who plays hockey, and that's when you can get this guy coming in. So as the Secretary General of Wazalendo, we've been having challenges in terms of engaging donors, even engaging sponsors. We'll wish one time this sport will be a very big sport in a way that when you try to approach a sponsor, there's no objection. You just give out your proposal and the numbers will tell them that this thing is going to work. Because I know a sponsor who wants to come on board, anaangalia what napata from this, what I'm doing, what gain am I getting from the sponsorship. We are asking also the Kenya Hockey Union to try popularize the sport itself, because we know they are doing a great work, they are doing a good job, but that's not enough. We need more and more people to join in, also partners to join in, so that we can help the brand or the sport grow.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a game of, for me, I'll say it, every man for himself and God for you all.
Yeah.
When you talk about, the union, of course, doing A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I think it's about time now, the discussion now, to shift to you as a lender.
Yeah.
And you come under the umbrella, but you have to do your part as individual. You talk about, your wish that maybe one day the sport will be popular and things could, move in a smooth way.
Yeah.
And of course, let me ask you this. Are you an optimistic man?
Sure.
And, do you believe in fast-tracking things?
Yeah.
Give me your game plan. The
now,
future looks bright, yeah, but what are you doing to make it look bright even tomorrow?
Now, for Wazalendo as a club, our future depends on the young kids.
Mm-hmm.
The young kids will help us grow. Without the young kids, I can't play hockey. Like for me, I can't play hockey for in the next 5 years, maybe 5 or 10 years. I can't play hockey. But for Wazalendo, we base our future or our motto or our growth basing on the kids that we are trying to bring them on board. So let me say, to help our future grow, we need to cater for these young kids. We have to support them. We have to educate them. We have to give them the right kit, the right attitude towards the game, and we have to engage them in terms of helping the society, so that when when as the old people, the old players phase out, these people will help grow the sport. We also try to engage other clubs to try develop academy units. Like Wazalendo, we are the only club in Kenya right now. We are having 4 teams in the league. 4 teams means we are having more than 120 players from Wazalendo playing in the league. It means if Club A has 120 players playing the league, and they have the young kids, the academy kids also participating, it means I was talking to the Secretary General of KHU yesterday. He was telling me they have more than 70 clubs in Kenya. Do the math, 70 clubs and having 120 players plus the kids, it means the sports will grow. So as Wazalendo, we are trying to fast track the growth by helping the young kids to come up quickly, then they can pick the growth or the process from us, the older people.
Even as we come to the tail end of this, discussion on how to, sponsor and even move forward as far as hockey is concerned.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we need to move away from this discussion, of course, for sure, because we have had this discussion for far too long.
Yeah.
And, it's good to walk the talk.
Okay.
And you talk about the future and things that need to be done. At the same time, you highlight the main problem, or rather something that if it can be worked out, then this is the solution.
Yeah.
I'm talking about popularizing the game in terms of, attracting new sponsors to chip this. And I said, every man for himself in this case.
Yeah.
And I asked you, are you an optimistic man? And you said yes. Then I asked you, what are you doing in terms of, now popularizing the game as Wazalendo Secretary General to uplift your club, to match the talk. And that is the discussion that majority are waiting from you, to hear it from you yourself, so that even the sponsors that are watching right now, they know that this is the plan. All right. Talk to me.
Wazalendo, since I said we are measuring in terms of bringing up the young kids. The only way to fast track the growth is to help the young people come up. Wazalendo has a program that can help the high school kids come up faster. And for example, we are engaging the highway secondary school where we are training, and that is our basis of getting players to grow faster. So without us engaging the young kids from the high school and the primary school, the growth cannot come up. But right now we are doing, the first step that we are taking is enabling the young kids, enabling the kids from the primary school and the high school to know the language of hockey, to learn the way to play hockey so that we can grow faster. The other thing that we are trying to do is to publicize our brand, Wazalendo. If you go everywhere, our Facebook page, our all social media, we are trying to popularize the Wazalendo brand. So we are selling Wazalendo brand all over the world. We are selling the Wazalendo brand everywhere in Kenya so that we can help grow the Wazalendo as a club, also help grow Wazalendo as a team.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, because of time, thank you so much, Eli Mwanza, of course, for making time to talk to us about very important discussion. And just like I said before, we'll be following up and we'll be holding you accountable for this because we need to move forward for sure, right?
Sure.
All right. And that is where we, call it a wrap with this particular On The Spot show. It has been an honor and, of course, very, very, very humbling moment to be, of course, enjoying with you and spend 1 hour and some few 15 minutes or so with you. And we appreciate that. Until next time, of course, we do wish you all the best. Enjoy your weekend. And of course, as you look forward to a new month, may the Lord keep you safe. Until next time, I say bye-bye. But before that, remember, my name is and will always be AUMA Evans. See you next time.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on